We had uncovered the pool and applied the green to blue HTH shock, and to our surprise, 24 to 48 hours, the algae had not all died off and fell to the bottom as it did the previous year. It looked like a disaster, so what did we do? We shocked it again and again, because usually all the dead algae falls to the bottom and you vacuum to waste, but how can you see the bottom like that? You can't. And the reason was because our cyanuric acid was not correct. You've probably seen these test strips. They come in different brands, but everything here is equally important. But if you want any of your chemicals to work, the first thing you need to do is make sure that your alkalinity and your CYA, aka pool stabilizer or chlorine stabilizer, are correct. Then your shock will work. So it tests for chlorine, pH level, alkalinity, total hardiness, and the cyanuric acid. Here's the caveat: you have to get your alkalinity correct before adding the pool stabilizer, or CYA. And the alkalinity is sold as alkalinity or baking soda, the Arm & Hammer yellow bag. So after fixing alkalinity and stabilizer, this is what the pool should look like. That HTH green to blue shock is essentially flocculant, which makes all of the algae die and go to the bottom where you vacuum to waste. You're gonna lose a lot of water, so that's why you see the water is filled up almost to the top of that skimmer box. And now I can see. So this part, I'm going to talk about vacuuming to waste. This is called a gizmo, and I'm going to use it to block off one of the skimmer boxes. I'm not sure if I had heard that everybody has one skimmer that's stronger than the other, so excuse all of that nasty algae in there, but you just twist it into the hole in the bottom of that skimmer. Now you're going to have more pressure and more suction to pull out of that other skimmer box where you're going to attach your hose. And so here over at my equipment, it's currently on open for both of those skimmers. What I'm going to do is turn it, and I know that this side is the one that opens up, the one closest to here, which is super strong, way stronger than the other. And then now having the other one closed off, it's going to be even stronger. And as with most functions, the pool has to be off when opening, closing, or switching any of these valves. And the equipment is all still off while I switch it to waste mode. Before I press start, I'm going to go ahead and fill a bucket with water and Clorox to clean out my pump basket or filter. I always want to make sure that that is empty and that it's filling up with water. Right now, it's empty, and that'll mean I won't have good suction. So that pump should be full of water. And let me show you why that happens. When we attach our vacuum to waste hose, it should not be pulling from the hose until that pump is full of water. So you want to pull this out. If you can keep it under the water but not suctioned into the pump, if that makes sense, you want to wait until you start seeing water come out of your vacuum to waste hose and then push that down so the suction will just snatch it in place. So once I see the water coming out like that, I know it's got great suction, and I can go ahead and connect that skimmer hose to the skimmer. You'll even feel the hose and see it move because it's got suction flowing. You should still see that water flowing out there. And I'm telling you, the kind of suction that you get from closing off one of the skimmer boxes, making sure that your pump is full of water, is such a game changer. Because there's been times where I vacuum to waste and it's not suctioning that well. I have to go really slow. Whereas right here, I can move fairly fast and it's picking up all of the algae. There's times when I've vacuumed to waste in the past, you know, when I wasn't a pro like now. Just kidding. There is literally something to learn every year where I had to vacuum to waste and the algae was just getting kind of mixed up into the water and it would become cloudy. When your suction is the way it's supposed to be on that vacuum to waste hose, it's going to be very satisfying. I like to go over the areas that don't really have leaves or too much debris because you'll be cleaning out your basket over and over and over. You have to keep that clean and full of water, remember. So yeah, always check the basket if you're not having good suction. Make sure it's full of water and clear. Hopefully you stayed to the end so you can see how it's best to add the stabilizer, because those granules do not break down. You can't just pour them into your pool. You have to like mix them up in a bucket and then pour it, or add with hot water, or you can just add in a sock and put it next to the jets and then it'll come out. This one's almost empty. So when you're done with your shock, you'll go ahead and put it on filter mode and test your pool again. Since you vacuum to waste, you're going to lose chemicals. So making sure you still have that stabilizer, alkalinity, your pH, everything. It's going to make your total hardiness proper. Here it is the next day where we still have some algae. And I can choose to either vacuum that to waste, or I can vacuum to filter if I don't want to lose any more water or chemicals. This does look a little heavy on the deep end, so I probably will go ahead and fill it up more and vacuum to waste before just keeping it on filter mode. And if I did vacuum to filter, I would want to backwash and then rinse the filter. With the chemicals right, it'll just maintain. And you know, you shock once a week, but just a regular shock, not the green to blue, and then I would vacuum to filter.